So what's Hitman going to do for Yugen Dynasty, and who else is going to line up alongside him? Let's find out in our draft.
Right off the bat, Richter removed. PrideStark have been a little bit of a safer team. Many of these top teams rely on the draft phase as an opportunity to bully. PrideStark tend to drift away from that, getting rid of the most powerful characters first and working their way down, confident they can win a fair match if that's what they ensure.
Right, and having extremely talented players on the roster makes that a lot easier to do, since whatever heroes are left over, they're confident they can play them.
They have banned Talanis.
Yeah. We've been talking about the side lane meta.
Yeah.
PrideStark know what they're doing. They say, get rid of her.
Well, we haven't seen a ban on her today, and not many.
I think PrideStark are trying to force Elsu here, and I think they might be able to. If they play it carefully, yeah, and this is going to be in a net out. Yugen Dynasty now need to ban Elsu, or PrideStark get it. If they do, PrideStark get Florentino.
Oh.
They go for the option number 3, ban the Sephira, allow the Elsu through, and they'll lock in the Florentino first pick.
Florentino is banned on
You're
Yugen
right.
Dynasty side,
Yeah,
so.
they've already banned it.
Then it was between Sephira and Elsu, and it was the Sephira banned as opposed to dodging, as I might
Yeah, but
have
which one are they
suggested.
going to take instead? You're saying, well, they'll get Florentino if you can have Elsu. But
Well,
they
that
banned
was TJ's
Florentino and
mistake.
Sephira.
I had missed the Elsu ban because he's, or the Florentino ban because he's out.
Yeah.
They actually didn't dodge the draft phase, instead banning out the Sephira.
So this isn't a double bluff, or like you take this and we'll take the
Oh.
other one. This feels to me like they've gifted Elsu with not enough in return.
However,
Okay.
Okay, so we know this might have been coming. Let's talk about
yes, Yugen Dynasty, I saw a scrim where Yugen Dynasty did run the Grak, and I saw it work well. I do like the Grak into the ADC meta. You have a lot of squishy, low mobility characters who can be pulled in and welcomed by the best boy in AOV. However, I'm not sure how I feel about first pick into, my goodness, they're sticking with this, into Elsu.
that. Okay, so Raz, first time we've seen him today, but we know he's performed well last season. Wisp did some demolition work last week. An ace was worked on there. Praetor,
Yeah.
though?
I'm not sure about the Praetor, a little bit more static mage. It'll be answered by Omen, Raz, Crest, and Wonder Woman for PrideStark. Yugen Dynasty have one slot left. What are they looking for?
They need another side laner up top, someone that can deal with Omen, and they're struggling with that pick too.
Roxy,
Just
right?
standard Malok.
All right.
Standard Malak.
Well, the Malok is a very nice fallback pick. I don't know what to pick. Malok. It's something that you can always do. He doesn't necessarily beat the Omen, but he can stall him out. And he's a very nice frontliner so that your backline of Preda and Wisp can deal the damage. So what they wanted to have here is to not really focus on the side lane as much, but to focus on the team fight.
Now, we wondered where Hitman was going to go and what he was going to bring to this team. Malak might be
We have a
it.
Grak meta. Sorry.
No, we don't have a
Yes,
Grak
we
meta.
do.
No, too
This
soon
is
to
going
say.
to... Okay. You're running side lane marksman.
Yeah.
You have a squishy, low mobility character you are relying on to get fed up and power into the late game.
Yeah.
What would happen if one little hooky boy came in and threw a little devil's chain, pulled
It's
him
really
all
annoying.
the way into the midst of your team and messed him up?
I may have personal experience of that.
I think this might be the answer. I was looking at the scrim screenshots I saw, and I do really feel this may be the answer to the ADC meta, because Wisp can be countered by Grak. You want to play Telenas? Guess what? Grak does well against that too. There are so many options. Elsu might be a step too far just because of the range on Snipe and Grak's somewhat lower mobility, but his hook does go a really long way.
You know, even without dashes, you can still dodge a hook by just moving sideways, right?
Only if you're fast.
Or good.
Anyway.
Don't put that on me.
I was still referring to my own personal experience against
Right.
Grak.
Elsu is one of those heroes, though, that has to stay perfectly still to snipe, though. And that could be taken advantage of.
All right, PrideStark Empire have got Elsu, Omen, Raz, Crashed, and Wonder Woman, and Yugen Dynasty have got their hands full, and an interesting meta to see if it works.
I'm a Grak, and oh man, Ra has a challenge. There's pressure down mid. Yugen Dynasty want pressure into the enemy jungle right off the bat, and they'll do so with a deliberate dive in. Hitman's trying to kite out the Might Golem in response, and he cannot make it happen. Zane will linger to pick it up.
If that hook lands, I believe that Raw is just dead there with no disengage to get away at level 1. So we're seeing the potential power come up right away.
Grak Very, very powerful. I have a Grak. Can I just...
Yeah,
I got a Grak.
it's fun.
Yeah, I'm just basking in that glory for a moment. If you don't know, I've played, I think, over 500 games of Grak.
I've seen many of those games.
My win rate is like 56%, maybe.
Okay, we've already seen the issue with the Prada, by the way. That was a very nice hook in, and unable to take advantage of it was Sly because he was sitting there with his Plague Spectre trying to pull that off.
Yeah, the Plague Spectre does take quite a while to set up. But Plague Bomb's quite a nice combo with the Grak, isn't it?
It could be, but if you can somehow manage to pull him into the chain or afterwards.
And that Plague Spectre will do a lot of damage fully charged. Dual Spirals here as well. They have a lot of actually set damage against isolated targets if they can make any of it land together.
Raw, with that snipe earlier though, makes Junie run away.
How do you feel about this setup should the Grak hook land? Because they have a lot of good damage on that.
They don't really have much of a follow-through because they have dual spiral with the damage. Sly does have the bomb to push them back, obviously, but that's really all about it.
I think the shock comes through, your cleave lands, World Devour.
You're going into this utopia again where everything lands
I
at the
live
same
in
time.
a utopia because Grak's here. This Abyssal Dragon may be actually a little bit of a utopian vision in and of itself. Yugen Dynasty might not be able to secure it. They've got Sly to contest from outside, only SNXP in the pen itself. This is very smart, but PrideStark will steal the Dragon. Now they've got ults as well. This gets dangerous. Metamorphosis is there. At first blood is found. Sly and Dual Spirals both knocked off the board.
Yugen Dynasty make the cardinal error of sticking around an Abyssal fight when the opponent can potentially take it and punish them. And indeed, they get punished as PrideStark picks up level 4 and jumps all over them.
Yugen Dynasty unable to make their early game engage happen. Junie, though, showing off the power of Grak in the jungle, repositioning that Sage Golem to stop the steal.
Right, but that's all he can really do is to stop the opponent from stealing from him rather than stalling out the opponent in any way.
But what other support can just take a Golem and move it?
Mina?
Okay, Hitman in trouble here. Will spend the shocks, try and stall things out. He's got a good cleave and a flicker. Actually, he might get to safety with the Soul Devour. Now he's got KO on the run as the rest of the team arrives. Casey Fox will dive in though and rectify the situation. If SNXP lands his death from above, it's all over though. There's the death flurry. He's got it. Revenge, a 1-1 trade in the top lane.
Finally a kill coming out here. Sly just having such a hard time though. He went in with his ultimate, tried to get something done, but could not. Had to rely on SNXP to finish his job.
And it worked. SNXP able to find major damage. And maybe that's enough, because the Malik you can rely on getting behind, whereas actually passing a kill over to the Zephyrs in your jungle is probably good.
I'm just still concerned with Sly on the Prada. He's not getting farmed up very much. He's not showing himself to be very useful thus far.
Well, he has another opportunity here in the mid lane. There's nice Devil's Chain landed, though not onto the ideal target. The World Devour for the flicker. Nicely done from Junie. Plague Spectre doesn't quite tag back though, meaning that he's able to disengage.
By the way, if you didn't realize... Oh, never mind.
Metamorphosis! That is perfect! And Sly's gone. The Devil's Chain will land. Beck pulled underneath the tower, but not stuck there for long.
Yugen Dynasty just on the back ropes here. 4 rotate mid just to stop the push, which means that Omen is continuing to push top here. And I'm shaking my head, TJ. Prada is just not having any effect. We saw him pop his ultimate twice already, and he's done nothing with it.
Yeah, it's the ult obviously makes you able to move while casting your Plague Spectre, and it makes those Plague Spectres a little bit more rapid fire.
And you can attack faster as well, and he has not been able to get any of that to work for him at all.
However, Prada has always been, when he was in meta, somewhat of a late game mage, so if Sly can hang on, then he will start chunking towards the late.
Thing is, every time I've seen Prada in professional games, even way back when he was picked as a fallback option, it was always just clearing wave at the back of the base when they're down behind their high ground tower, CJ.
But he is really good at that.
He's really good at playing from behind.
And that may be a strategy they've got to utilize as PrideStark have built out a slight gold lead here, about 3,000 currently.
Well, Sly's doing his best to clear that wave, but they're gonna have to see more from him going forward.
How do you feel Yugen Dynasty? Oh, actually, Hitman caught out, will of the shock. This has been a strategy's work from the claw for the cleave does land, but that was really nice. PrideStark waited in the bush till after they'd seen the cleave, so the lifesteal couldn't come through.
Right, and the shot couldn't land on them either.
Now Zane might be caught off, actually. World Devour will land. The Grak secures the kill. He will almost fall for it, but it is over. Now Yugen Dynasty have a kill back in the bot lane, their second of the game.
Yugen Dynasty is starting to fight back a little bit here, but it's not really enough as towers fall in the mid and top lane.
Yep, and that means they're in trouble as the next major objective comes through. It will be this Abyssal Dragon. There's a Metamorphosis, not finding much, but zoning SNXP out of the jungle, and he'll get pulled back as well. The Devil's Chain, I'm not sure he would have wanted that to land, Junie, but it does go wide.
Yeah, could have pulled him into his own teammate's death if that had landed there. They're still grouping up. They're still unsure of where to rotate here from Yugen Dynasty. Dual Spiral needs to continue to farm up, though.
Where should they be rotating to?
They need to not rotate at all, in my opinion. Just
hold lane?
Yeah, just stay in your lanes. Make sure you're continuing to farm up. I don't think they're getting enough gold sitting here following PrideStark around.
Too reactive play, something we've called out from a few teams today. SNXP will successfully not only steal the Spirit Sentinel, but disengage from the whole fight. Now they go in for another engage. Junie is in trouble. The World Devour does land, but the Bracelets cancel it out. And they've run over by Grak. SNXP tries to get redemption. He'll dive in. They've got the shock and awe as well, but it's not enough to claim any kills.
And while all that was happening, Raw is just in the bot, throwing snipe lines out at the side of Yugen Dynasty, making things so difficult. He's by his lonesome in the jungle of Yugen, and they cannot punish it.
Yugen Dynasty unable to make it happen as PrideStark continue to press forward. They've lost all but their high ground in 2 lanes. Now the Metamorphosis, shock from Hitman to try and stall things up. SNXP eating a body shot just to keep his teammate alive. That hook will land. Beginning's actually in a good deal of trouble now. Will go down. The Grak able to get some revenge. And KZ Fox falls as well. Not bad at all from Junie.
Yeah, PrideStark overextending a little bit there. Junie does get that hook, probably on the worst target, but they'll take it.
Who lives in his team behind the tower?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, okay, never mind. I was doing like a SpongeBob joke because he's got the pirate skin, but I see that went over your head.
Yeah, very much.
Didn't have a child.
Very much. It's already gone.
Yep. Junie is doing a very good job, though, as the Grak sitting behind his tower, and that's one of the most dangerous places a Grak can be.
I am personally loving the play of Raw. He is hitting so many snipes, and part of that is because of the flashy boots that he's built, which allows him, in combination with Murmosa, to have 25% cooldown reduction.
And that's one of the more terrifying builds for this Elsu. We talked about it earlier today. We've not seen a lot of Elsu, and sometimes that yields trouble because people just don't know how to play him. We do know Ra is quite proficient on the character.
Right, and going with the hybrid build, starting off with the snipe build and then going for auto attacks.
Ooh, Junie in trouble, pushed back by KZ Fox. He bathes in the damage, but will finally be burst down by the entire team. 5 members, enough to take down Grak, but only barely.
This is one of the weaknesses of Grak, though, why we haven't really seen him of late, because if he misses his hook, or even if he does hit it, he's kind of sitting out there on an island, can get taken out.
The Darkslayer will be taken out, just like Grak. Yeah, it's Yugen Dynasty.
Oh, the Darkslayer is nearly as immobile as Grak.
Ouch. Yugen Dynasty are now in trouble. The Drake is available for anyone who'd like it. PrideStark will be able to summon it into the lane. Normally we see this pretty far back during close games, but Zane seems to want it right against the towers.
They're trying to go for those towers as quickly as possible just to make this game as quick as possible for them. They have things to do, TJ.
Yeah, places to go, empires to conquer. Rebels to slay, and PrideStark will be able to take down another tower.
Yeah, certainly pushing in here. Raw continuing to push to have that damage from the back, because that is where Elsu is most effective, when you're starting to get that advantage and you know exactly where the opponent is so that you can land those snipes.
And is this team comp really enabling him?
His side or the opposing side?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, all of it. Junie finally lands
what
this.
about that, though? The Grag Hook, never mind, does land. Ra will escape. I was so hopeful for a moment. Now the Metamorphosis comes through alongside the Drake. This mid lane tower will be in trouble, but Zane, he lassos deep into the enemy lines. He'll be shut down. This could turn. PrideStark may evade. I agree, this error as Beginnings is shut down as well. PrideStark have lost the fight behind the tower. Ra is still standing, reigning in this night, but it's not enough. The Yugen Dynasty endures.
They barely endure, they barely hold onto that mid tower, but Ra was still laying on the heat from that backside and making it so that Yugen Dynasty can't really get anything off of this because they're licking their wounds.
Oh my god, KZ Fox syncing up. SNXP will finally chase the sniper out of the bush, but now the rest of the team will return.
That coordination was beautiful. The snipe into the KZ Fox follow-up. That is amazing.
Don't do it, KO. He taps on the tower, it's gone.
A little flick.
Let's talk about this Praiser build, because it's just gotten interesting.
Well, he does have the Zweihunter. It's the only item.
To say that.
Yes, it's called Zweihunter. It's
Nice.
German. And it's the only item for which that Pareda is specialized to, because he doesn't want those faster auto attacks once he pops his ultimate.
And that will start to make him a little bit more dangerous. He's got a decent amount of gold. The Wisp, the only player ahead of him, meaning that you can start to see Sly doing damage, but they need to find these kills, and they have. KO picked up as the Abyssal goes over to PrideStark. That does slow things down, but they've still got the buff.
Right, a little bit sloppy here from PrideStark. If they were against something like BM Gaming, this might be problematic. I don't think they're going to still lose this game, but maybe something to clean up.
Yeah, what has gone wrong? Why did they lose that fight under tower?
They popped the Metamorphosis when Ra was still very, very low on health, so he wasn't really willing to step up and knock it down, which means he was just in the back raining down snipes, which was good for damage, but not to the tower. A little bit of miscommunication here. And again here, as they go for the Abyssal while members are getting caught out.
Hitman is in trouble. He'll try and shock to safety, try and succeed, but the power surge is there, meaning his safety is short term.
Yeah, not going to get away from that one, especially when KZ Fox is playing this res so well.
Zane pulled in, though. That might not be the target you want, but it's the target they get. Beginnings will pop the Metamorphosis. That could be a waste. The tower is under threat, though, and it will fall despite the shock and all. Junie will have the heal, the Essence of the Wind. It's not enough. Dual Spiral chained in. This should be game. SNXP bails back. He'll fall. Sly is the only player left. The Praiser having to flicker back into the fountain, and there's just no way to turn this as the core falls, and PrideStark Empire take game one.
PrideStark mess around a little bit, but take them down in the end. Just superior talent all around, playing with their food.